Whenever we are listening, talking about the term megapolis, it isn't usually that we think about Indian cities. If you can think, you will think about Boston, Washington, whole corridor, the Taiyo corridor in Japan. But when we are looking at Indian cities, we are yet to arrive at the megapolis. But the good news here is we have got the bloodline which can be actually making our megapolis and full structured one. You might be thinking that what exactly is megapolis? Megapolis has to be imagined as a huge mega center of multiple urban cities with proper transportation corridors, connectivity and much more. And why I am saying that has arrived in India? Because we are seeing full connectivity on the Delhi-Meerut corridor with the inauguration of Regional Rapid Transport System, that is RRTS. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are not just going to talk about that RRTS has been inaugurated. We will be talking about why exactly RRTS was needed in this region and what exactly RRTS will do to change this into a structured megapolis in the coming future. So let us begin with understanding that what exactly is RRTS. So when we are talking about RRTS, please don't imagine it is equivalent to metro. It's not. Because when we are talking about metros in our city, be it Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai, it is for the intra-city commute, within the city commute. But when we are talking about RRTS, it is a semi-high speed rail network which will facilitate intercity commuting within present metropolitan cities, metropolitan regions. And the one which has been inaugurated is for Delhi and Meerut. When we are talking about the comparison itself, the speed of RRTS is somewhere around 160 to 180, but we are talking about metro, it is somewhere limited between 80 to 120 kilometers. And the catchment area of the metro is the particular city itself, but when we are talking about the catchment area of RRTS, it is the metropolitan regions. And that is why for this coverage, the stations are spaced very wide. If you look at this particular corridor also, you will find that the stations are spaced wide and limited stops are there so as to ensure that there is faster travel. And when we are looking at RRTS as a whole ecosystem, it also integrates metro, railways, bus and airports, and the whole idea here is to bring the regional mobility, so that there is movement from one region to another and within the region itself there is facilitation of movement so that there is urban development but in a balanced way. But when we are talking about this case study in front of us, RRTS, we have to look at like a case study because first we have to start with understanding that when we are looking at RRTS, why it was needed in this region, and when we are looking at the problems of this region, why the answer was RRTS here. Now, so as to the question why it was needed in this specific region, we have to understand that there are certain structural problems that are present and that are still plaguing this region. When we are talking about this very region, we have to start with the understanding of fact that when we are talking about Delhi NCR, you cannot view it as a normal metric of a city. It is rather a polycentric urban region. Multiple regions are part of it and around it which are present. Ghaziabad, then we have Gurgaon, Faridabad, Meerut and much more. So we cannot put it in a simple definition of city, rather it is a polycentric urban region, and that is why it has certain structural problems which are not just seen in cities. For example, starting with the first one, which is the mismatch in terms of economic capacity. Starting with the first problem, that is of spatial mismatch. Now, when I am talking about spatial mismatch, it is between jobs and housing. Because when we are talking about jobs and when we are looking at housing, the number here is increasing, the concentration of economic activities is increasing, but this is stagnant. There is so much to a limited land resource that we can create out of it, but jobs are intensifying. Now furthermore, what we get to see that the economic activities are concentrated in core Delhi and affordable housing is available in peripheral towns. Meerut, Ghaziabad, all of these regions. And as a result, what do we see? Long commutes and extreme pressure associated with it, which also results in migration. Now, when we are looking at this problem, what could have been a better solution to it than RRTS? This is just one problem. Add to that another layer of, when we are talking about housing, congestion and the capacity limit. There is a definite number to as much how much you can increase the width of the roads, how much housing you can create, what kind of infrastructure you can put. And that also, even if you do it to the maximum, it also creates a lot of chaos which takes away the livability which is present in that region. And this is where I would like to bring the role of private transportation. Let me give you an example here. Only 30% of public transport is the one which ensures accessible transfers from one unit to another. Other than that, it is not present at all. When we are talking about public transports, only 30% of it can be directly accessed without transfers. That means there is system efficiency, there is not integration of the whole transportation system which is present. And RRTS here is such a miraculous solution because it not only reduces transfers because it has integrated hubs with metros, but also railways and airports, but at the same time it will increase the public transportation of this region from 37% only to a big number, that is 63%. And because of all this that is present in front of us, add to another layer, that is the environmental imperative. When we are looking at RRTS, where a region is plugged with air pollution, there will be reductions if the more RRTS corridors just like this one are in place. Forecasts already show that RRTS corridors can annually cut PM 2.5 by 60,000 tons, nitrogen oxides by 4,75,000 tons, hydrocarbons by 80,000 tons and carbon dioxide by 80,000 tons. So here we have RRTS in a region where climate related changes are also required so as to ensure the livability here. So it is a climate aligned transport intervention, not just a mobility plan or just a mobility corridor. And this is the solution and the reasons why we needed RRTS in Delhi NCR. I'll be moving towards the Megapolis angle as well, but we need to start with the very basic of understanding the problem and then we can move to the silver lining that is gradually coming out of it. This is again where an important question that you must ask, that why Delhi Meerut corridor, why are we starting with it? So when we are talking about specifically Delhi Meerut corridor, when we are talking about specifically the Delhi Meerut corridor, it was one of the most congested regions, and the structural problems that we had just discussed, they were starkly visible in terms of challenges between the commute from Meerut to Delhi. Now the reason Delhi Meerut corridor was selected because it satisfied the classic corridor prioritization code. So when we are talking about prioritization code in terms of corridor, first we see demand density. This corridor satisfies the criteria of demand density. How? This corridor connects some major urban nodes, Delhi, Ghaziabad and then Meerut. And the expected ridership here is more than 0.8 million. That means there is almost ridership of 1 million every day. Furthermore, another big important component of prioritization in terms of classification and satisfying that code is the fact that how much travel time gain will be there. So before RRTS it was 2.5 to 3 hours, now it has come down to 40 to 50 minutes. So huge travel time gain can be facilitated by RRTS. And then comes the regional balance. When we are talking about regional balance, this is where we get to see that this project not only reduces pressure on core Delhi, but it also enables development in the regional cities, and that is how it satisfies the basic spatial economic principle that we talk about, that if there will be faster connectivity, it will not only redistribute the population, that means population will be able to live across the regions, but it will also enhance economic activity. Now Delhi, Ghaziabad, Meerut being major urban and economic nodes, this was something that fitted the criteria also and the problems that were being faced in this region as well. Now on this note, it is not the only region that has been taken up for RRTS corridor. There are other phases coming as well. The phase 1 corridor, the first one was Delhi Meerut, then we will be seeing it for Delhi Panipat and Delhi Alwar, then again this is where we get to see that whole regional grid model is present in front of us. There are future proposals also, but they are only on the paper stage as of now. First, we want to present a prototype model where we get to see this executed in Delhi NCR regions before we move towards other mega region itself. Now, this is where we get to the term Megapolis. Now, when we are talking about Megapolis, it is nothing but integrated multi-metro cities system that has created. Now, when we are talking about creation of Megapolis, I am again and again saying integrated. I am saying connected. And this is where RRTS straight away comes to the picture, because it is the tool which will facilitate the integration and connection in real time with solving the structural problems. RRTS is not just going to be the bloodline of the Delhi NCR megapolis that will come into the picture, but it will also transform the economy and the society in the regions it is going to come up. How? We will be moving to understand that first. So, when we are talking about transforming the economy, we have to look at it not just as shorter commute. Shorter commute also facilitates higher productivity. When we are talking about society, it is not just about shorter commute, it is about more family time as well, which helps in building family values, which helps in further reducing stress, enhancing productivity and more. So, one thing, just one thing is bringing in a transformation not just in terms of economic factors but also societal factors. Now, let us look at another factor. Economy will ensure, RRTS will ensure wider job access. A person sitting in Meerut can actually consider a job in Delhi. A person sitting in Faridabad can consider a job in Delhi. A person sitting in Alwar can consider a job in Delhi. This wider job access will create efficient labor markets. This will not only help with enhanced income, but redistribution of it as well and addressing inequality. Apart from that, if you look at another factor, it is of real estate. Because this will be decentralized gradually and there will be balanced urban growth. So, there will be not concentration of growth in one region and the other one will be totally left aside. This will also facilitate lower congestion, which will enhance the livability, reducing the stress, pollution levels, also ensure reduced fuel cost, logistics and so much more. So, you don't have to see it just as a mobility corridor. This is something that will bring better ease of doing business and it will also bring in ease of living. Because when I started with the example of Bosch Wash, that is Boston and Washington megapolis, that is a region which is not just seen for the pictures, not just for the connectivity, it is seen that that is one place you would like to go there and do the business. You would like to go and live that life. If we want to create that life, we have to start with the bloodline, creation of the blood system itself, and that will come through RRTS. So when we are asking is RRTS the bloodline of future megapolis, the answer here is yes. Because when we are talking about megapolis, again I would like to define it here clearly. It is an integrated multi-metro region, multi-urban cities are present here. And when we are looking at this context, look at Delhi NCR. It is geographically large, but the problem here is if you look at function wise, it is fragmented. And RRTS does not just give mobility, it connects labors, knowledge, markets, economy, society in a very different angle. So when we are talking about RRTS, it is not just some factual information that it is integrated, it is a case study of the formation of megapolis and how it can be facilitated by such corridors. What kind of effects they can have, big numbers they can churn and also change. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be leaving you here with a prelims practice question. You can put down your answers in the comment section. I'll be waiting for them. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.